Welcome to Wasatch Weekends. I'm your host, Ben Roof, and it's a great Monday show for you today. We'll be talking with the owners of Steeped Coffee about their single-serve coffee products, and then we'll be checking in with the authors and illustrators of a new Juneteenth picture book by the same name. But first, the 6th annual Freelance Economic Impact Report was just released, and it had some really interesting findings in it. Laura Podesta of Fiverr joined Maddie Evans a little bit earlier to talk about some of those findings and how it impacts freelance work. Let's take a listen to that interview now.
Are you a freelance worker and do you want some great tips and tricks and maybe some information to help you build as a freelance worker? Well, then Fiverr has the answers for you, and we've got Laura joining me to give us some more information. Good morning, Laura.
Hey, good morning, Maddie. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks so much for taking the time to chat with us. Now, for people who don't know what Fiverr is, can you give us just a brief overview?
Absolutely. Fiverr is a freelance marketplace, and that means we're online and we connect freelancers to companies around the world in the simplest way possible. In just a few clicks, you can find a freelancer, or you can go on Fiverr.com and sign up and become a freelancer yourself, offer your services, and clients will come to you. And every year we put out this Freelance Economic Impact Report. This is a deep dive into the freelance economy here in the US. We're looking year over year at population changes, where freelancers are working, where they're making the most money, and exactly how much money they have made. So in 2022, they made $286 billion. That's a 10% increase from the year prior. And this is the trend that we've been seeing every year since we put out this report, which is just the revenue growing larger and larger.
Which is incredible to see that growth, and so exponentially too. 10% is a huge jump, and especially when we're talking about numbers these large. Now, which freelance kind of group is most likely to be satisfied?
That's a great question. The report breaks up all of these freelancers that are doing so many different jobs into 3 different categories. So we have professional services, that would be lawyers, accountants, business consultants, marketers. Then you have technical services, so data processors, architects, and then creative services, artists, photographers, voiceover artists. And what we found is that professional services, they are the largest group and they make the most money. And in 2022, they reported increasing demand for their services, so much so that 45% of them successfully raised their rates in 2022. So they're making more than ever.
And how do men and women differ when it comes to independent work?
There are roughly 6.7 million of these independent workers in the US. 3.7 million of them are women. So it's a larger group. We're a larger group. And women find more benefits to freelancing over traditional employment than men do. This report surveyed the women and found that 41% prefer to work from home compared to 31% of men. So they see that as advantageous when it comes to freelancing. 39% of women compared to 22% of men want more flexibility in their schedule. And then once again, more women than men feel burned out by traditional employment.
And then, of course, do freelancers make more money depending on the area that they live in?
They do. The report ranks the top 30 cities, and as would be expected, New York and LA are number 1 and number 2 when it comes to how much freelancers make and the amount of freelancers there. That is followed, though, for number 3, not by Chicago, which is the 3rd most populous city, but in fact, Miami. So this follows the trend that we've been seeing during the pandemic and after the pandemic of more people working from home and then deciding to move to warmer climates, perhaps more affordable climates when it comes to cost of living and tax incentives. And so that's why Miami is number 3 instead of Chicago.
Now, Laura, as people are coming up with their independent freelance businesses, how can they join Fiverr to get all this information and really help grow their business?
So we make it really easy. We like to say to go to Fiverr and create a username and sign up and start working. Or if you want to be a buyer on Fiverr and hire a freelancer, you can also set up an account. But if you want to learn more specifically about this report, you can go to fiverr.com/freelance-impact.
Which is great information for so many freelancers to get their hands on. And now as people are maybe making some shifts into freelance work from jobs that they've been doing for a long time to maybe do that working from home position, do you have any tips and tricks as they're getting started?
I think number one is you want to spread the word. So you can let people know, friends and family, obviously, but also posting on social media and including LinkedIn and all of the different places where you are already present online to say, hey, I'm now freelancing and this is how you can hire me. I also think it's really important to set yourself at a competitive rate. That way, if you are on a platform like Fiverr, you're getting work and you're not out overpricing or underpricing yourself. It's also super important to specify exactly what you can do and cannot do, and make your gig description, as we call it on the website, as descriptive as possible. That way people know exactly what you can do for them, and if they have the kind of job that fits your expertise, then it'll be a good link.
Now, how user-friendly is Fiverr? Can anyone just get on, sign up, and start working?
As long as you're over 16 years old, and between 16 and 18, you do need parents' consent. But it goes from college age, high school, college age, all the way up to retirees we're seeing on the platform, and it really is user-friendly. We like to call it the Amazon of digital services because it's just laid out so that you can quickly find exactly what you need.
Laura, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, giving us all this wonderful information. Now, if people are interested in finding Fiverr, what's the website one more time?
Fiverr with 2 R's.com.
Laura, again, thank you so much for giving us all this wonderful information.
Thanks, Patty.
If you're a freelancer looking to expand your business, well then Fiverr is the solution for you. So you can go to fiverr2rs.com to start your business account today. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Welcome back to Wasatch Weekends with the Outdoor Retailer Summer Show starting today and going on through the 21st. It's an excellent opportunity to check out some fantastic outdoor products, and one of those products is steeped coffee, a fantastic single-serve coffee product, and we were joined earlier by the owners of that company to talk a little bit about their product. Let's go take a listen to that interview now.
Do you love coffee? Well, now there's an easier way to have access that's more friendly to the environment, and that's steep coffee. And we've got Ron Scadina joining us. Ron, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. Quite an honor.
We love coffee here, as you can imagine. We're up quite early, and this is a great way to get coffee on the go, but also to enjoy it if you're someone who loves the outdoors.
The coffee is fantastic in the outdoors. It's great on the run. All you need to do is add a little bit of hot water or cold water, actually, and you can make coffee within 2 to 3 minutes.
Which is something that makes it nice and convenient for everyone to get their hands on some delicious coffee. And so steep coffee is a new way for people to enjoy it. So for people who have not heard of steep, can you explain what it is to us?
Simply coffee in a tea bag. We've created a proprietary process to actually grind the coffee at a certain micron, put the coffee in a special sachet that allows the water to agitate the coffee, and then we nitrogen seal the coffee in a bag, so we have a 12-month shelf life, and it's fully compostable. So you can take it anywhere you want to go. And we're using the SCA specifications to 14.2 grams of coffee to 8 ounces of water.
Which makes it super convenient, and especially for those people who are outdoor enthusiasts. So whether you're skiing, biking, hiking, backpacking, camping, this is the perfect way to have this in your car ready to go. That way you can have coffee whenever you want it.
Have you had a chance to try it?
I have not had a chance to try it yet, and I'm a coffee fiend. If I told you how many cups of coffee I've had alone today, you would be amazed.
Well, if it's interesting. If you go to our website, you'll see that you pop down a little, pop down on where to get the coffee, and it's at 5,000 points of distribution across the country right now, including Whole Foods nationally and 576 Walmart stores as well.
So it's easy for people to get their hands on steep coffee, and something that's special about what you guys do is you're also blending in these mushrooms that help support immune systems, which this is kind of a phase or like a fad right now that's taking over, having this mushroom support.
So interesting you bring that up. We actually package right now for 450 roasters across America that pay us to package for them using our technology. One of our partners, and our first partner in the functional space, created a product with mushrooms that they infuse into the coffee. We package it for them, so we're their packaging partner. They're using our proprietary method to secure the coffee, keep it fresh, but they've created this proprietary process on the mushroom side of the infusion. They're in Colorado, and the name of that company is Peak State, S-T-A-T-E, and they're one of our partners. And as you know, that we've been nominated for an award for innovation, not only with our packaging, but with the mushroom coffee as well.
Which is something that's so incredible, and the fact that you guys are so sustainable for our environment really shows that you love that outdoor lifestyle, which also speaks volumes to your product, since this is one that you can always use when you're enjoying the outdoors.
And the nice thing was when you get done using it, you won't leave an imprint right on it'll break down since it's fully compostable. And there's nothing else like it in the world.
So what was the inspiration behind Steep?
Our CEO he used to take a suitcase full of equipment, a scale, a pour over kettle, coffee, and his grinder. And he would spend all this time packing everything to go to his in-laws. And he thought there's got to be a simpler way. So he started innovating and creating this about 7 years ago, so that when he travels now, all he needs is a steep sachet, coffee in a tea bag. And the nice thing is it also makes cold brew overnight within 24 hours. So you just add cold water, it makes cold brew. It's stronger in 48 hours, 72 hours. But that was the innovation. A man named Josh Wilbur created it.
Which, I've mentioned it now. I love coffee and I love caffeine, and you're not going to miss any of the caffeine with regular coffee by enjoying a bag of Steep, correct?
Correct. So what we did is we looked at French press and we looked at pour over, and we combined these two in creating this sachet. So when you dip and dunk it, it extracts and agitates the coffee so that it yields the caffeine that's in normal French press or a pour over. So we call this method the French press without the mess. And you and I all know that we've made French press and left it on the counter too long, because our partners then had to remind us it should be in the garden. The grind should be in the garden, not on the counter.
Right. My mom is a big coffee drinker as well, and she has an espresso machine at home. And yeah, she goes through the coffee grounds or the espresso bean grounds so frequently that that's something that she definitely uses in her garden. Now, as people are looking into getting it, you guys do carry a lot of different types of coffee, and so which one is your favorite?
I love a coffee that we had roasted by one of our partners in Oakland from Mr. Espresso, and we created a coffee that's French roasted but it's also roasted over oak wood. So the nice thing is the way it roasts, then it takes longer to roast the coffee, but it brings out these incredible flavors that you don't get unless you use oak wood. So I like the breakwater coffee. That's my favorite. And this coffee also won the award at the Nexties at the Expo 2021 as Best New Coffee and Coffee and Tea category. So the breakwater is my favorite, but I also like the Eventide when I don't want the caffeine in the afternoon. It's a single origin Ethiopian Swiss water process. So you get also this incredible coffee without any chemicals or decaf.
I feel like coffee is such a simple luxury, but it is a luxury product for so many, and this is just such a great way for people to enjoy it, have a smaller carbon footprint while doing so, and then of course, probiotics, immune system boosting, and all of these great aspects to just make that simple pleasure even better.
After listening to you, I would definitely ask you to join our team as an evangelist, because you obviously understand it well, and I appreciate the time and energy you spent to learn about what we do and how we do it, and just being able to share it with the world.
Ron, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, and thank you for taking that carbon footprint that coffee has been leaving behind and getting rid of it. That way you can be sustainable, caffeinated, and also, if you need probiotics or your immune system boosted, you're ready to go.
Welcome back. Today is Juneteenth, and we had the opportunity to speak to the author and illustrators of a fantastic picture book by the same name. Liz talked to them a little bit earlier, so let's take a listen to that interview now.
Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Liz. We have some very special guests on Zoom this morning. I want to welcome Van G. Garrett, Reginald Adams, and Samson Adenuba. What's up, you guys?
Hey, good morning, Maddie.
How did I do with your names? No butchering?
Perfect.
Perfect. Well, I want to explain why you guys are all here. You are all three extraordinarily talented men. We have the author, we have the illustrators here, and this is a picture book, and it's for kids who want to celebrate the joy and all of that great stuff, and it's the magic of Juneteenth, and it's about a young boy who comes to understand his place in Black history, basically as he experiences Juneteenth for the very first time. Now, Van, is this your story?
Well, it's inspired by my story. It has a lot to do with when I was a kid, being able to experience Juneteenth with my family, the pride that I saw, that I experienced. I literally still get goosebumps thinking about it to this day. So I wanted to transfer that energy, that joy into this book, into this project.
Well, I think it's going to be a really, really special experience, especially for the kids, because first of all, when I was a kid, if there was a picture, I was interested. If there was just words, forget about it. So the fact that there are illustrations really does bring the magic of the story to light for the kids. So that's amazing, Van. And I love that you bring to light something that comes from the real world, because there's always a really great way to connect with your audience or your readers when it has something to do with real life. Now, Reginald and Samson, you are both the artists. I know, Reginald, you're a mural artist, a sculptor, and you do a lot of other art installations, and same thing with you, Samson. Is that correct? You're both a key team member for the visual design in this book.
Yeah, right. So we started, Maddie, the connection here came through a mural that we painted in Galveston in the spring of 2021, where we were invited to basically bring the story of Juneteenth to life on a 5,000 square foot wall. And my company, I pride myself on building a great team of artists to help with that work. And Samson was one of those artists that was part of that mural, which is behind us. And that mural I think is what caught the attention of Van as he was thinking about the illustrations for the book. And as we can say, the rest is history. So I know I'm super excited about seeing this story come to life, knowing that young children for really generations to come will have an opportunity to learn about the rich history of Juneteenth through the Juneteenth book.
Well, Reginald, that's a great way to put it. And I can only say, looking behind you at just a portion of that mural, wow, you guys are talented. That is insane, the colors and the brilliance of it all. And just, I can even see the detail from a zoom into your room. How cool is that? But that's really amazing.
Yes.
And then Samson, what is your take on this entire thing? How do you feel about the experience being with these two guys and joining in on such a great collaboration?
For me, it's a great privilege to be part of this story. I mean, looking at it from the point of view of diaspora, then we used to peep through the TV, through the books we read, through the magazines and all that about the story and the struggle. But now coming into the contemporary time and actually being part of actually putting pictorial pictures to the great words put together by Van, it's a collaboration that actually extends the creativity, to the young generation through this book, and also continue the history of the joy of Juneteenth.
You all are very magical, and I like the way you express yourselves. It's really just great. That's what artists do, right? You can express yourself with such a great way for articulation and everything like that. Now, do you three get together, and when you got to start this book, do you all work together, or do you work separately and then just bring the book all together as one giant package?
I would like to say that, we had some early conversations, Van and I really kind of just like picked his brain to really get a sense of the tone and the direction that he had in mind before we started any of the illustrations. But once he, gave that vision, it was really just a back and forth with Samson and I around every single page, every single image, every single character, so that we could make sure that we were rising to the occasion to meet the standard that Van had established in such a powerful children's story.
Well, I think you did. I'm just looking at the book. It's so intriguing. You just want to grab hold of it, which is really cool. Do you recommend this read for children all around the world?
I'll take. Go ahead, Samson. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would recommend it to all children all over the world, because Juneteenth celebration, stands for freedom, liberty, and also for me, I also think family and inspire creativity, which spread across all the children of the world. So I recommend it to the children of the world.
Well, I agree with you. I think everybody should embrace this, and not a lot of people might understand what Juneteenth is all about. So why not have a beautiful, creative medium to give everybody the education that they need and the respect and just the knowledge that everybody can have, so that everybody is on the same page, so to speak. You like that? But it's just a very, very exciting thing that you guys are doing. And where can we find this book, you guys?
Everywhere that books are sold.
Yay, that was a great answer. Van, you're awesome. You three are all really amazing guys. I love that you have collaborated on this. And what a wonderful way to get kids to just read, enjoy, embrace something. And Juneteenth is something very important for all of us to understand, get the knowledge, and what a fun way to do it. I can't thank you guys enough. Van, Reginald, and Samson, thanks for being here with me on the show, all about the great picture book. It's a magical experience. Juneteenth, everybody, in stores near you. Thanks again, gentlemen, for being here with me. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Maddie.
Thank you, Maddie. We appreciate it.
I'm not Maddie, but that's okay. I'm Liz. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you.
Bye, you guys.
Goodbye.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Well, that's all the time that we have for today's episode. If you missed any of our weekend's shows, you can catch us on parkcity.tv, or you can catch our episodes on our YouTube channel. This has been Wasatch Weekends. I'm your host, Ben Roof, and I can't wait to see you next Friday.